Okay, I had questions about the surgery my son had. Um, I kind of want to preface this with saying, when you have a child's disability, there are several things that you agonize over. Um, and probably if you have a disability, period, like if you've been in an accident or um, your family member you've got to take care of. I mean, even if you have an elderly parent, there's going to be times where you're faced with those decisions that you have to think about, and you make the decisions best for your family, for that person, for yourself, and others always put their 2 cents in, or they've done their own research. It's always hard to really put that, unless you've been there, I guess what I'm trying to say. It's very hard to second guess. um, there are many things that we've done with the kids that have been difficult decisions. you know Maybe they will look back 20 years from now and go, Mom, why'd you do that? And I can honestly say that I could look at them in the eye and say, I did the best I could, and I believe that we've done the best for them. With Ryan, he has cerebral palsy, and he's very spastic. And when he was 2 years old, it was kind of unusual, I guess, but one of his therapists mentioned this surgery called selective dorsal rhizotomy. And she also mentioned this, it was kind of a weird treatment called using Botox that would be injected into spastic muscles, and it would cause them to relax, which was kind of odd at the time. She told me it was like botulism, and I'm just going, oh, you know. Husband really freaked out about it. He's like, oh no, I would never do that to Ryan. Um, Excuse me. Drinking Coke too. Um, so I was looking into the internet, and I'm looking into that surgery, and thank God, but don't say anything. There wasn't a military doctor that was doing it at the time, and there's this wonderful doctor, and his name is T.S. Parks. He's over at Children's Hospital in St. Louis. He did our son's surgery, and at the time he'd only done 700, but it was a less invasive surgery um, out there. So I looked into him, and what they basically do is they go into the spinal column and stimulate the muscles and stuff, and the ones that are spastic, they cut a percentage of them to release the spasticity. And it's permanent, of course. And the goal is to prevent that child from having muscle lengthenings and any other surgeries. And there's, all kind of risk with it. So you have to weigh that. Um, so I was thinking about it too. So I looked into it, talked to other parents, talked to their kids, and there's only a few adults that have done it, and I talked to a couple of them. They don't get as good of results as kids do, because most of the adults have been cut up horribly by the time they get to be adults. Where was I? So when Ryan was 4, he had gone through a bunch of Botox. We were having Botox like every 3 months, and he was going through and having these deep muscle injections, and they're pretty painful. And he would take it with just Emila cream, which you rub it on the spot and it gets really cold, and basically you don't feel the pinprick, but I'm sure you feel the needle. And some people get them where you put the child under anesthesia and they don't know what hit them. Some people put that child in a brace, in a cast, for 6 weeks. We didn't do that. We just did kind of like an aggressive therapy program, just really tried to stretch him out, maximize the use of that Botox. But your body's a wonderful thing, and it can kind of negative for Botox. It builds up, antibodies or whatever, and it just got to where the Botox wasn't working at all. And Ryan he was using a walker at the time, and he got so bad that his little legs, he'd be trying to walk and his legs would cross up like this, and he'd trip and he couldn't get anywhere. He was getting crouched over. Um, his little hamstrings are getting so tight. And everybody was wanting to cut him up. And what I mean by that is the lengthenings. They go in and basically, your muscles are tight like this. If you can imagine your muscle being tight, and they cut it so that it releases, it takes that pressure off, and then so what would happen is that muscle right there would grow together and be lengthened. But what's horrible is you're guaranteed to have that surgery. Once you do it, you're going to have to do it again. And if you ever look at these kids or adults, all they have is slashes on the backs of their legs. And, that's great. But I didn't want that for my son. And some people say the Botox is horrible too. But I saw good results from it for my son and other kids. So I made that decision. My husband made the decision to do it. So he had the surgery done. And within 2 days, he was crawling around just like he normally did. We started therapy. He had therapy in the morning, and we had a home program that was basically the same thing he did in the morning. And we did that. It was like a regimented schedule. For 6 weeks, he had to have it every day. It went down to like 4 days a week, 3 days a week, twice a week. But it was like a long period of time. And he lost a lot of function. But then he gained it all back and then some. So, which was really what he was supposed to do. And I don't think he'd be using crutches today if he didn't have that surgery. He hasn't had any lengthenings, and if I can help it, he won't. He's pretty loose. He's got some tight hamstrings still, but you don't want to get rid of all that, because he is weak in other areas. He still needs to wear those braces. I don't know if you saw him or noticed him. I'd show you, but he's goes in through here, and then what I have to do is I have to break his foot, not break his foot, but break that tension that has his foot, put it in here, strap it tight like this, and then strap this tight against the back. He's got cushion here and some cushion here. He wears this tight. Okay, you can see there's no bend. There's about this much plastic. Okay, there's that much plastic right here. You can tell how hard it is. It's pretty hard right here. So that's what he's got to wear every day. He's been wearing those since he was walking too. They're very hot, but he has to wear them. His ankles are so weak they just roll in. And, someday he probably will have to have foot surgery where they pin his bones in place, and they want to do it now. And I said no, because your foot doesn't stop growing until you're 16 or so. And at that point, who knows what kind of stuff they'll do. And again, that was the risk that we took with the surgery, because you don't know what's going to happen down the road. Maybe they'll come up with something wonderful and great down the road, but I can't depend on that. I just needed to have something done now, because he was so tight, and I don't want to have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about his hips popping out of the socket and all that horrible, nasty stuff that can happen to kids with CP. And I think that's about it, because Ryan's right now, we have to see a spasticity doctor and an orthopedic doctor, kind of keep a check on his hips. Every other one we see, because we are a military family and we have to change doctors every time we go, every other orthopedic doctor wants to operate on his hip. And his foot turns in a little bit when he walks, so every other doctor wants to break his leg and set it straight, which I forgot the name of the surgery, which would mean twisting all those muscles around with the bone. And I'm not going to do it, because I don't think he needs it right now. And the way he walks is he walks through a swing through. He's trying to walk reciprocal, but right now he's 9 years old and he's got a mind of his own, and he can walk faster with the swing through. And I had left a message for Free Wings, because I don't know if you've seen his video where he does a twirl. I was like, I am not going to let my son watch that, because he already does enough stunts. I was so proud of him today, y'all. He went down, I can't tell you how many steps, with his crutches going, of course, head first. But he did so well, and they don't have steps at school, and I was just so proud, I guess, because he, took the initiative to, and that's how strong-headed he is. So, like I said, he's getting to the age now where he kind of needs to be involved in what's going on. So, yeah, that was pretty cool today. I was sweating, even my feet were sweating, because I just knew he was going to go face first, but he did really good. So okay, I'm going to stop this one.